Hi guys, Emily, you've been really good about being the first one to get the video out, so this week it's my turn because there's a couple things I'd like to talk about. The first one, and most importantly, is Yugioh, of course. This Saturday, Mom and I went to see Yugioh Dark Side of Dimensions in theaters, and it was really, really good. And Mom and I had a lot of fun. Mom's favorite part was, quote, watching me watch the movie, unquote. And I imagine it was pretty amusing to watch me because I was laughing, I was crying, I was laughing a lot. So about the movie, if you enjoy Seto Kaiba, this movie is for you. It's very centered around him. And not many people focus on the main protagonist of the movie, Aigami Diva. And I like his facial design and his hair, but I think his clothing and the color palette of his clothing could have been a little better. But the voice actor for Diva was very, very good, and I was very impressed. And the animation was killer, and Yugioh was true to his character but still showed development, because it takes place about 6 months after the final episode, in which the pharaoh returns to the afterlife. I could just talk about it forever, but I'll leave it at that for a more in-depth discussion later. And then this week on Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, Supreme Dragon King Zark has finally been defeated by the most unlikely person, yet the most likely because that was literally the last person who could have dueled him. And so that's pretty exciting. He has been defeated, and as far as we know, Zark has been locked away. And then the previews for the next episode just totally throw us headlong into another scenario where they're signing up for this new tournament. And there's just so many more questions that we have to wait another week for. It does seem that Yugioh is doing okay, which is very relieving. And Standard Dimension also seems to be intact. We don't know if the 4 different dimensions were fused together into the original or if they remain separated. But otherwise, the world seems totally normal, with a few exceptions, little differences in the characters and such. So I'll leave it at that and give you more next week. And then the final thing I want to talk about is the NPR podcasts I've been listening to because I've been sick of listening to music when I'm drawing. And I picked out a few different ones. And something that has stuck with me is this scientist talking about genetically altering DNA. And people's respect to nature. And he was talking about, people think nature is always the thing we should go back to. It's this wonderful paradise. But in reality, it's fucking brutal. And natural selection is this horrible way of living. And nature isn't this thing where everything's good and everything's peaceful. And that just really stuck with me because in the mindfulness book I'm reading, it's all about let your mind be one with nature. And often in the news, it'll just be things need to go back to the way they were because you're impeding on nature. And I talked a little bit about nature with Emily. And of course there's a lot of bad stuff we're doing in addition. But it just gives me something to think about and I hope you think a little bit about it too. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys are having a good week so far, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.